Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Before and After Thought with this show, as always, Queen KSK. Be sure to hit that follow, the like, the share, the subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. This is the triple threat, right and left, left and right, up and down, straight through the middle, however way you want to look at it. Triple threat before and after thought. I'm gonna go over the last few weeks of what's been happening, what's going on with Raw, SmackDown, and the Royal Rumble with the Elimination Chamber coming up. The Super Bowl passing as well, since it's on Fox, which is Channel SmackDown, and is involved in sports and all that good stuff. Want to know? Need to know? I'm gonna let you know. You already know how it is, so let's jump right into it. First of all, let's talk about the 30-year celebration of Monday Night Raw a few years ago. Now, well, longer than a few years. I mean, these are like I like classics and the new now, but let's talk about that one. I mean, we have from this Monday Night Raw of the years of 30 that Monday Night Raw has been around. We have like Straight Profits and Seth Rollins teaming up, winning a six-man tag team match. What better than Shawn Michaels and Triple H GX Generation inviting the Street President Seth Rollins to pick up the win out of the 3-3 six-man tag team match with Bianca Belair, putting Sonya Deville in her place, who couldn't beat Charlotte and let alone beat the ESTs all day, every day. Raw Women's Champion. What in your right mind did you think he was going to knock off the EST? Are you serious? Come on. This is her show. She's the face of the company. She's the boss. This is her Monday Night Raw EST. It's as simple as that. Spitting and shooting it fast. Along with them, we had LA Knight get a spook of his life, messing with the dead, and then the Undertaker, and got by the feet. Bray Wyatt, who made the supernatural history. My favorite supernaturals: Undertaker, Boogeyman, Bray Wyatt. My Giants would have to be with Omasa coming back with MVP would have to be like the Big Show, Mark Henry, the Great Khali. Those from then to now are the bigs, are the athletes, are the Giants and Supernatural. Trishan leaders as far as Bianca Belair that I was talking about breaking the streak, dominate that so that people like Bianca Belair. They like personally dominant, breaking the history and breaking the record, like the Four Horsemen: Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. Even though I like Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks better than Bayley and Charlotte, but they're still part of Horsewomen dominant, starting in NXT, Raw, SmackDown, laying out the line and personally out the road to be able to do that. It's just Stratus and Lita, so yeah, I give them that pat on the back. Then you had Theory that would have lost the United States Championship against the almighty Bobby Lashley, but the Beast Brock Lesnar comes out F's by Bobby Lashley. Apparently has unfinished business with him. And from a long time ago, like two gladiators, like watching The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin go against each other. It's just going to go back and forth. And either way, you're going to get a good fight. You're going to get a good match. You're going to get a domination at the end of the day, no matter who wins. People are going to get a show that they paid good money for. And Layback can have some pop because it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be dominant either way it goes. So I like matches and stuff like that. And then, this is remain run tag team champions, great champions like the team of the Shield, Revolution, tag team. I would say like Rated R, RKO, Randy Orton and Edge. That was trying to tag team. Shawn Michaels and Triple H specifically added the DX. That's the truth. So I'm gonna show you. Those are my opinion thoughts over the 30 years of Monday Night Raw, then and now, and forever. WWE makes it 30 years of Monday Night Raw XXX. Now, this is my video that you guys already saw, but I'm going to show it anyway. So, here we go. You had Hulk Hogan, the Bloodline like the Shield of the Revolution, the Usos like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Edge and Randy Orton, Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions for making history with the Usos. The Bloodline been in there as long as Raw has been created 30 years. The Godfather, like the Rock Nation being created, Revolution, the Shield, the Undertaker, like the Boogeyman, Bray Wyatt, Supernatural, Kane, Big Man Monster Machine, Beast, Poker Game, Classic. See John Guerrero family there and DX Generation. Always bringing out the fun and the dominations through the years. Steph freaking Rollins burning it down on Monday Night Rollins. Did it then, doing it now with the Street Profits, who want and always get the smoke. And setting on one of the best Raw managers, or SmackDown managers, Jerry the King Lawrence, King of the Ring, to make it possible to become a King of the Ring officially. See Street Profits, the 7 runs, picking up some Kurt Angle, with that 6-man tag team. Like I was talking about the Revolution, Kurt Angle had his boys, Brock Lesnar had to go against a 1 of 3 type of thing that I was talking about. Charlotte Flair celebrating with the Nature Boy himself, SmackDown champion, respecting our Raw champion Bianca Belair. Champ recognizes a game. The song was as I was talking about the rattlesnake. That was just a commercial, but like I was talking about, him and The Rock are classic matches like Randy Orton and John Cena. Then you'd have Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. They're the United States Championship opportunity that I was talking about. That United States Championship. I think the best United States holder, John Cena, my all-time favorite. There's the Beast Brock Lesnar, who's been, dominating on both Raw and SmackDown for a while now. World Heavyweight Champion, Universal Champion, Royal Rumble winner, Mr. Money in the Bank, that sort of stuff. And I was talking about. Now this couple of my prediction. I'm going to show you my Raw prediction first. Be sure to hit that like, that follow, that share, that subscribe button. Now this is my next Raw for the second week predictions. The Royal Rumble Raw predictions right here, right now. So I think the EST Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair is going to overcome Alexa Bliss and Uncle Howdy of what's next for them on Raw. And then I think that the Bloodline will have Sami Zayn on Team Bloodline on Monday Night Raw against Kevin Owens. Plus, Street Profits in the tag team action. And then also you would have the Royal Rumble winner, the American Nightmare, maybe tangling against Seth Rollins again. And, maybe on the same team. You know how they did Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch was against each other. And then all of a sudden they was on the same team. So maybe the American Nightmare and Seth Rollins will be on the same team against the Academy. And then that'll leave the Street Profits in a tag team match against the Usos, with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, the whole bloodline being there. So that is my Queen Krazy K. Follow, like, share, subscribe on Instagram and YouTube predictions for Monday Night Raw before the Royal Rumble. Peace. Monday Night Raw prediction. Second week, Monday Night Raw prediction. Be sure to hit that follow, that like, that share, that subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. I'm going to do my SmackDown predictions before the Royal Rumble. I think that they will have Hero maybe teaming up with the Uso Penitentiary. Have the Usos and Hero against Sheamus, Drew McIntyre's,
And, well, had to probably split that up a little bit. I was thinking maybe Heat Row and the Viking Raiders against Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and maybe the Usos in a 4-4 8-man
That was my
tag
Raw
team
prediction
match.
for the
That would be
second
something to watch
week
and very interesting
after the 30
if that
years
would happen.
celebration of my
And
Night Raw
then
prediction, and after the 30 years
that would bring
celebration
me
towards the
to,
Royal Rumble SmackDown predictions.
depending on where Sami Zayn
In my 30 years
chooses,
of Raw
whether he's going to
celebration
be the next victim
video,
of Roman Reigns or whether he's going to be
and
on
what I
Team
thought about it.
Bloodline. He's got to do with Solo in a singles action on SmackDown. And then that would bring me to, let's see. I mean, that's pretty much, Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Who's her next victim? Maybe Raquel get her rematch finally, and that is Queen Chris K producing for SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. Follow, like, share, subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. And Queen Chris K is out. Queen Chris K, be sure to hit that follow, that like, that share, that subscribe button on both Instagram and on YouTube. You already know what it is. I'm gonna do my last Royal
Rumble
Rumble
predictions
prediction before the Royal Rumble tonight.
finalized before the Royal Rumble
I think
prediction.
it'll be the EST Raw Women's Champion against Uncle Howdy and Alexa Bliss. Defeat Bray Wyatt, getting the best nightmare. Actually, it used to be Bray Wyatt because he said the feud's dead forever. Bray Wyatt getting the best with him and Uncle Howdy over LA Knight, which will allow our Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair over Alexa Bliss. SmackDown Women's Champion over Sonya Deville. Sami Zayn's going to come through for Roman Reigns to remain Universal Champion against Kevin Owens, or they're going to have to deal with the Bloodline. And then the American Nightmare, like I've been saying since day one, the Men's Royal Rumble winner. And maybe the Women's one, I'm not too sure who's all in it. But maybe if Big Time Bex is in there, win it for a second time. Otherwise, maybe Raquel win it and get her SmackDown Women's Championship opportunity against Charlotte that she never got her rematch. And then that would leave, I think that's pretty much all the matches that we know for sure. And then the almighty Bobby Lashley getting his revenge over Brock Lesnar for what he did on SmackDown, so he could get there once and for all for that United States Championship belt. And then that would be pretty much all of it. So follow, like, share, subscribe both Instagram and YouTube. Queen Crazy K is out, and I'll see y'all next time. Queen Crazy K, be sure to hit that follow, that like, that share.
So that was my 30 years Raw XXX celebration video and what I thought about it, and my Raw predictions for the following week after the 30-year celebration towards my SmackDown predictions of the Royal Rumble. Choose the Royal Rumble. And I know that you guys seen my prediction for the Super Bowl and after the Super Bowl as well video. As you can see, the Chiefs, they won, and I've been supporting them since day one. Now this is just a little fun video. I want to show like 10 greatest movies that I've seen recently and why I think that of it. You talk about acting, and we talked about 30 years of Monday Night Raw. Raw prediction after the 30 years of Monday Night Raw. Raw celebration of 30 years then and now. In my opinion, it does that SmackDown towards the Royal Rumble prediction. And I just thought since it was on the SmackDown Fox channel, Friday Night SmackDown, that I would talk about, the Super Bowl. It's a big thing. The Chiefs win it, and I've been going for them since day one, and I told you that was going to happen. Proved all the haters and the doubters wrong. And since we're talking about sports and talk about, wrestling when we do our promos, our acting, and our entertainment, I thought I'd bring up the 10 greatest movies I've seen recently. So here you are. Just so we're on the same page of what's happening, what's going on.
The subscribe button on both Instagram and both YouTube. I'm going to talk about my top 10 best movies that I've seen recently. So the one will be House Party. That just right off my head. I like the first House Party better than all three of them, but they all was classic, funny, good, and like me, you see my short videos. I'm an entertainer, and a class clown actress, and inspired me to like the classic, talk about life and what's happening, what's going on, or just make jokes like when I'm on there rapping and stuff. So, House Party, I like the first one better, but the new one was good too. And then that'll bring me to Hocus Pocus. I like the first one better because you see my broom from Hocus Pocus.
So those are a little bit of that type.
My Hocus Pocus got a little hat on it. I like the first one better than the second one because it was more funny. Like the second one's funnier, but the first one was a lot action and funny and a lot better. And you see also was my house party I was talking about, my graphing, you know I do. And then Black Adam, anything with The Rock is either going to be funny, powerful, either funny, powerful, or one of the greatest things you ever will see at all times. And he's just a cute guy to look at, obviously. And then that'll bring me, I know it's a little bit older, but Halloween, all the Halloween movies are a classic. My favorite one would have to be the one where she found him in the hospital, which is like the second one, and then the one where he had to go to the psycho house. Those have to be my favorite Halloween movies of Michael Myers. And then let's see, talked about Black Adam, House Party, Hocus Pocus, Terrifier now. See my clown mask up there. All blood and guts and glory is all what a scary movie is all about. That's all I gotta say about that. And Megan, that was interesting to watch. That was a very, very interesting movie. You see my skeleton up tied up here. What better than to have, be a friend and don't have to deal with the person physically, just like all the Annabelles and Chucky movies and all that good stuff. So it's just one of those that it's a dream come true, but obviously it can't happen in real life because of the evil intentions. Kind of like, oh, you can't be friends with robots that take over the world. You can't be friends with the invasion of alien invasion. They'll take over the world type of thing. So that's how that's played out. Let's see. I think that's pretty much. Let me see my little book here, make sure I didn't miss anything. I wrote them all down too. That was just like off the top of my head with House Party, Hocus Pocus, Megan, and Black Adam, and they're all like in a row that I put them in. I like Bullet Train because I like action movies, and of course Bad Bunny as well. Being a Grammy rapper and a wrestler on top of it, Bad Bunny is just one of my favorites artists, and hell, he's done a lot more in wrestling than the actual wrestlers. Some of them in there. Like he beat the Miz at his own game, and he was just a rookie. Kind of like how one lucky punch Logan Paul did and became a boxer, and then pushed to the limits in wrestling. Then that brings us to Puss in Boots. You see, it's not Puss in Boots, but it is a crash. Kind of like cartoon favorite. I like the first one; it was more action, but the second one is funnier. I like clap moments like that. Then that brings me to Avatar and Black Panther. Now, I for one am the Whitney Houston movie. I like the first original Whitney Houston movie and Bobby Brown movie that they made on Lifetime. That's the first one about them in their life. I like her songs. My favorite song by her is actually Hotel, even though everyone, and How Will I Know, and Queen of the Night that Ariana Grande performed at one of the performance that they put, like, where the where people were performing and stuff. And Black Panther, I like the first one with him in it better, but I do like the second one with all the action showing that a woman can do just as much stuff. Because most of the movies, the like superhero movies, they make the guy's always strong and the superhero, and the girl's always come save me. So I'm just glad that they showed that You know, it doesn't matter if you have a pair of balls or a pair of tits, that anybody can go out there, get hurt, and get dirty and do the exact same thing. So I like that Black Panther. That it was underwater, which I love ocean movies, which would bring me to Avatar. My bucket's in the car that I was going to show you.
Don't call my phone then if you're
Movies, which
not
would
gonna
bring me to
answer.
Avatar. My bucket's in the car that I was going to show you. I like the first one. I like the second one better because it's underwater, but the first one had a lot of action and stuff in both of them. So the second one had to be
Hey,
my
when that
favorite
happens,
because it's
call my
underwater.
phone when I say hello. Then answer the phone. Otherwise, don't call my phone if you're not gonna answer. They say no ding dong ditch.
They're same. It's kind of like watching Avatar people on there with the enemies and stuff. And I like how they show that the woman could do it too. But the first one I like, of course, because he was in the original one. And as far as that goes, that is my 10 greatest movies that I've seen recently. Follow, subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube and Queen Krazy K. We'll see y'all next time. Woo! Yeah. Queen Krazy K up in her room doing her thing right now. And now I'm having fun and not acting that way, not worrying about anybody else saying this and that about that way. Why don't you turn your head this way? Why don't you act like that way? Queen Krazy K, this rap, this beat, and rap, this face. Why don't you give everything and follow, subscribe on that Instagram and YouTube right now?
Now listen to SmackDown because had a New Day and two tag team champions on Miss TV right before the Royal Rumble. No Almighty Bobby Lashley sending the message to Brock Lesnar for getting the F10 right there, as you can see. Ricochet and Braun Strowman winning the tag team match like ninja strength warriors that they are. With the Usos, Raw and SmackDown tag team champions, greatest in the universe, they and the world, having an altercation with Kevin Owens. Lacey Evans turning heel, domination, or with the NXT actually with her return. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso are still friends and buddies, even after the whole bloodline versus Sami Zayn type of thing. Along with Charlotte, who signed a deal apparently has unfinished business with on my SmackDown video. This Mega Workshop video is more about the 2K 2023 front cover with my all-time favorite John Cena. Like that's more likely why I was showing this one. It was this about my all-time favorite John Cena. You can't see Hustle Boy to respect him into a 60-time WWE champion, the greatest United States champion in history on the front cover 2023 video game. Is why I showed this video, making corn drops. Just to celebrate John Cena on the front cover 2023, along with the up, down, down, as you seen Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston NXT Tag Team Champions on my SmackDown results, and the Raw and SmackDown right before that prediction, before the Royal Rumble after 30 years of Monday Night Raw celebration. I just thought I'd add the Super Bowl one and the movies in since we do promo, acting, and entertainment. I thought that would be appropriate to add that in, along with the Brolin brothers, who was on the Celtic Warrior workout and was on the bump with Sheamus, part of SmackDown. They were part of NXT, and now they're dominating on SmackDown as a team together. Like the Kofi Kingston, who was on the out of character, and on this recent bump, that it's good to see Biggie Langston return and beyond there as well as part of making Black History Month that I was talking about. First ever African American to win Mr. Money in the Bay. And then NXT Tag Team Champions, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And then Kofi was on out of character on Biggie, was on the bump with the Brolin brothers, who, like I said, was on the Celtic workout and then turned around and was on the bump as well as my Royal Rumble results. Now, it all came down, like I said, was going to happen. Everything, like I said, was going to happen, except I didn't expect the Sami Zayn thing. But then it kind of made sense after, know the history that you stabbed your own friend, Kevin Owens, in the back in NXT. What are you going to do to people that you say are your friends, but really using them for the camera time? So then that really relied and made sense after that. We had Rollins champion Bianca Belair over Alexa Bliss. Uncle Hattie sacrificing his own self so the Bray Wyatt could get rid of LA Knight once and forever, get the spook of his lifetime. Then you had Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, dominant with the Bloodline over Kevin Owens and both Sami Zayn, who stabbed each other back in NXT, and now it seems like they have some kind of friendship or tag team going now, as they have no choice against the Bloodline. Then you had where it was, you know, everything went like I said. Royal Rumble and the American Nightmare for the men's. The women's Royal Rumble where Rhea Ripley in number one surviving all 30 as the Nightmare and the Dominator that she is and like she's set to be. Now I was really looking forward to her versus Bianca Belair for the Raw and Champion at WrestleMania, but she has unfinished business with Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Champions belt, so I am going for Asuka to win the Elimination Chamber to face the EST for the Raw and Champions belt because that would be a good match to watch at WrestleMania, the greatest stage in them all. Bianca Belair's third WrestleMania, and she's won both of them already to this point. So then I bring the Academy. Talk about Olympus Gomez, Kurt Angle a few moments back, winning with a broken neck. Then you got the Academy, who reminds me of Strength and Power as a tag team, working on the Celtic War and a tag team workout on there as well. I don't really like the Academy. I wear the Usos penitentiary on my Papa John's that tasted good when my football team won with the Chiefs on Sunday. Who's on that commercial as a tag team, greatest tag team in history, Raw and SmackDown tag team, running both brands with the New Day running NXT, who made history with the Usos to get to that point. Now, I usually talk about Raw and SmackDown, but I threw in a little bit of NXT because I really like this past NXT. You had Bayley, the leader of Damage Control, our tag team women's champion, be on the NXT, and then you had the whole, I like some NXT superstars. There's Zion Quinn that I like on there. Toxic Attraction, when Mandy Rose is on there. And now it's just them as a tag team, and now they're better off enemies. I just thought it was a really good top 10 NXT to watch and to exurb and to talk about. Since I was talking about the New Day, who came to SmackDown's NXT Tag Team Champions, I thought that was appropriate to bring the NXT up. In my opinion, I thought with some of them who were WWE superstars and some of them who I just like in NXT, who is a part of the WWE that brand is. And the American Nightmare, who I said was going to be entered in the Men's Royal Rumble and was recovered after that injury, won the Men's Royal Rumble, like I said. He was on the Bomb Celebration as third generation of Dusty Rhodes and Goldust, and now the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, heading to versus the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, for the Universal Champion at WrestleMania, that I think maybe Jey Uso and Sami Zayn will help out the American Nightmare along with Solo and Jimmy helping out Roman Reigns, that it could be a 3-on-3 we're seeing at WrestleMania rather than just a singles action for the Universal Championship. But it will be a good match between them because they both got heart, power, strength, and athleticism, and they both won't take no for an answer. So I think that'll be a good match just with the two of them, let alone their teams, their families getting involved. Making it a match to see. And the Ox and Bianca, they just have a lot of history in the NXT that bringing NXT to the WWE over at WrestleMania, what better than to do that? Because anything and everything can happen in the WWE. So I just think that would be a match to sit back, have some popcorn, and see, along with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte finishing what they started for the SmackDown Women's Championship belt that they started 3 years ago. Especially when I was talking about the NXT invasion on Raw and SmackDown, and then it's been going on between those two, particularly ever since. So now it's time to, it's like, Charlotte got the win last time because Rhea was ready. Now that Rhea is ready, Charlotte might be in a route for a record. We could see a new SmackDown Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. It's a possibility. She's done everything that she said she was going to do to this point. NXT Women's Champion, like she said she was going to do. Dominate with the Judgment Day on Monday Night Raw, like she said she was going to do. Won the Women's Royal Rumble in and out one, like she said she was going to do. Challenging to finish Charlotte, what she started 3 years ago, like she said she was going to do up to this point. I think the Rhea Ripley could be the next SmackDown Women's Champion because she's done everything she said she was going to do, And Charlotte may not be working out and training as much and as hard as Rhea Ripley because she thinks it's going to be a walk in the park. Looking at Rhea like a rookie, like when she beat her as a rookie, 3 years ago, she's not trying as hard because she's like, this is gonna be a walk in the park. Whereas Rhea Ripley, she's busting her ass off. She's working out. She's training. She's looking left and right. She's dominating with the Judgment Day, or just in particularly on Monday Night Raw, working her ass off to get to that point because she knows she's going against one of the best 14-time women's champion at the greatest stage of them all, and she doesn't want to take that L again, especially at the greatest stage of them all. So she's working a lot harder than Charlotte as far as training and being ready for the Charlotte Flair at pay-per-view Queen for SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania, where Charlotte just like, this won't be hard. So she might pull out some surprises and that something she might not be, preparing for, and be like, oh, now it's time to nut up or shut up, and I don't know what to do. We could be looking at this new SmackDown Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley, the Nightmare, who's done everything she said she was going to do up until this point, and still doing what she said she was going to do. So I totally agree with that. I would agree with that statement. We're talking about from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, Road to WrestleMania. Those are my opinions and thoughts. And then it would back me up to Elimination Chamber coming up first, why I think that way, why it would lead up to that way, and why, with everything going on, it would be that way. So I have plenty to back up. And then this is my Monday Night Raw. I want to show him. I've been waiting. That's been looking down. Been waiting to show you it, but I just wanted to get that point across. This is my Royal Rumble. Now, I already said the results, but I'm going to show you my Royal Rumble actual video that I put together. Pat McAfee returning for the commentary. The Pat McAfee show. SmackDown, and now part of football football podcast is Play Pro Football to Scope. Logan Paul, One Lucky Punch. Hardy performing the Crow to open up the Royal Rumble. He was at the show with solo application situation. The women and the men's match, Miz and Johnny and the men's. The Celtic Warrior Sheamus, who did the workout with the Celtic Warriors, who was the Berlin Brothers, like I was talking about. Drew McIntyre just won it. Bobby Lashley, the Almighty, getting his revenge on Bobby Lashley getting his revenge on Brock Lesnar for F5ing him on Raw. Eliminated Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins for the whole him in theory for the United States Championship situation. Got his revenge right there and then. Hall of Famer legendary Booker T, King of the Ring World Heavyweight Champion. The Judgment Day controlling like Nexus did until they got out quick to get. Beth Phoenix and Edge getting their revenge on the Judgment Day. The American Nightmare, like I said, was going to return from the injury and win the Men's Royal Rumble, and did. Like third generation, like I said. Defeat Bray Wyatt, having the sacrification, winning the match over LA Knight with the Raw champ Bianca Belair over Alexa Bliss. Well, Uncle Halley being focused on defeat Bray Wyatt. Big time Vex getting revenge on Damage Control for everything that they have caused her since she's returned back on Monday Night Raw. And then it goes into personal situations as far as Bayley to Becky Lynch outside of wrestling. That, jealousy that the man is just better than Bayley at what she does. Asuka, who I think is going to win the Women's Elimination Chamber to verse the EST for the Rollins Championship belt. You got Tamina and Deidre talk about domination and gladiators like Big Show and Mark Henry I was talking about. Nia Jax, that was actually got everybody out of their seat. That the return of Nia Jax for the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley, who won it all. Domination night here. Number one, surviving all 30 women to the end to finish what she started with Charlotte the SmackDown Women's Champion at WrestleMania, the greatest stage of them all. and that she's more ready than what she was before. Not expecting that. Roman Reigns, of course, Universal Champion with Kevin Owens, but Sami Zayn messed up with the bloodline. But Jay, who trusted and got close to Sami Zayn since then, does not know exactly what to do at this point. Now, this is out of Raw SmackDown with the wrestlers on this video. Now, what they've been up to and what they've been doing, and me as a journalism has just been watching and observing. So this is why I were to show this video and what this was about. Roman Reigns on the Jimmy Fallon back then said he was going to be double champion, came back double champion. Jimmy Fallon predicted Roman Reigns Universal WWE Champion at the same time, and he is a double champion. Big time bets in the Kelly Clark show. 2K2023 with John Cena on the front cars. Talking about Seth freaking Rollins enjoying it. New show coming out with Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. Can't wait. On the power couple on Monday Night Raw. Feed Bray Wyatt. No longer the feed, just Bray Wyatt himself that he was over LA Knight with the Supernatural and did exactly what he said he was going to do. Dominate on the Royal at the Royal Rumble outside of the 30 years, having that not altercation, but I think that the Fee Bray Wyatt and Undertaker had a sign of respect with each other as kings of Supernatural, and that he gave LA Knight what he deserved with that pitch black Mountain Dew match, which was kind of neat watching. Looked like green slime on their tape. I don't know what the hell that was, but it was kind of cool watching that. And speaking amongst that, it wasn't the feed, it was just Bray Wyatt doing what Bray Wyatt does best as himself, dominate as an athlete and as a superstar, and didn't need some Sister Abigail or Pig or Fowie Wowie or Uncle Howdy, even he sacrificing himself to do what he said he was going to do. So him coming out, coming a long way, just having himself in doing that just really proved that it was just Bray Wyatt showing you, hey, this is what I am. This is what you came in to do. You wanted this, you're going to get all of me, not half of it. And LA Knight was not ready for that. And, you could think Bray Wyatt, but no one really knows him, and no one is ready for Bray Wyatt because you never know what to expect when you're in a ring with him. I mean, he had the Wyatt family, and no one expected the Wyatt family to show up with him and John Cena in a steel cage match. He brought out the feed Bray Wyatt with him and Randy Orton with the whole fire out when burned Randy Orton's face with Alexa Bliss. He brought out the Fowie Wowie with Alexa Bliss with the pig and everybody and Sister Abigail that he's been talking about for years when he got in the head and the mind of Roman Reigns and bringing the family into it outside of it. And then he brings this pitch black match, bringing out Uncle Howdy with LA Knight on SmackDown, and then was himself and brought this whole voodoo look to beat him in that Mountain Dew match before he sent the messages with him and Undertaker on the 30-year celebration. So you never know what to expect at the free Bray Wyatt, but you better believe you better be the Boogeyman, Supernatural, or the Undertaker, or the Big Red Monster Kane to at least be halfway ready for it, because it's different in their own natural ways, and that's why they're different supernatural characters. I like stuff like that because I'm a horror freak. I love horrors and scary stuff like that. Blood and Glory, my thing. I'm Halloween all day, every day. All year round is Halloween for me. You guys seen the videos that I showed you with my Raw prediction, my SmackDown prediction, and my Royal Rumble prediction, and the results of Raw and SmackDown and Royal Rumble from the week of the Royal Rumble and the 30 years of Monday Night Raw, then and now, the history I was talking about. You guys seen that. So, and I just wanted to throw in the Super Bowl because it's on the Fox channel, and I wanted to throw in what they've been doing, me as a journalism, as doing this podcast outside of wrestling with the superstars, and how I knew why that was going to happen, and put my opinions and thoughts onto it with further notice as far as, the history of 30 years of Monday Night Raw. The history, like my predictions towards SmackDown before the Royal Rumble and after the Royal Rumble. What now was the question, and towards WrestleMania because we're on the road to WrestleMania. But of course, we got Elimination Chamber coming up that I had to talk about first. And that it was more about the video game is why I shows you, like making pork chops. It was more about the video game and outside of there as a journalist, of what you have to do and what you have to kind of put in there. Not like a TMZ all up in your business type of thing, but just in general of what's been going on and what, I wanted to show. And I threw in NXT because the New Day showed up on SmackDown, and it kind of brings back memories like the NXT invasion of Raw and SmackDown. It kind of brings back the Royal Rumble with the NXT members being involved in that, and New Day themselves who came on SmackDown, showing that NXT is still there. When I was talking about the horsewoman, when I was talking about the Black History Month with the horsewomen and stuff, that brings back memories of that. On my other video that you guys seen of when I was talking about the Super Bowl results and the Black History Month, that brings back memories of that when I thought about, the road to WrestleMania and the history making that's been at WrestleMania, the whole supernatural type of thing that only you would see that type of stuff at WrestleMania or the 30 years of Monday Night Raw, that anything and everything can happen in the WWE. That would bring me to my application of that. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you this Monday Night Raw. Now, that was the 30 years of Monday Night Raw. Okay? And then that was the following SmackDown to Royal Rumble. That was the Royal Rumble and the predictions of Raw and SmackDown after Royal Rumble. And my opinions and thoughts as a journalist outside of the character, the bump, and the workouts. Okay? So this is the third last over this past Monday Night Raw video. And then we have Raquel, who dominates on SmackDown and could be in the favorite eliminating the Elimination Chamber match. I'm going for Asuka because I think that would be a good match with her and Bianca Belair for the Raw Championship belt. And, like I was talking about Big Time Bex in the Royal Rumble and Seth Rollins at the video game cover, I just think that them at the Applebee's was funny and that they're men, the stars, along with the Bianca Belair Montez I was talking about with their show coming out, with them also doing that same in that hell. I just ate there and it was awesome. And that, it's just fun things to watch, with the whole acting and entertainment. That's what I was talking about when I showed that acting video, when I showed the promos, when I talked about the 10 favorite movies that I've seen recently. That's the type of acting I was talking about. With the American Nightmare celebration still going on, talk about acting and creating. Let's talk about the third generation of the American Nightmare on After the Bell. Knew it then and knew it now, and now it is reality. The American Nightmare winning the Royal Rumble, going to face the Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship belt. That is not acting. That is just reality. So, as far as that goes, that's what I was talking about. Those type of things. And then, like I said, with Bayley going her home to the NXT about the horsewoman. She's the leader of the group, domination of Damage Control, whether you like it or not. Bringing back that creation that, hey, this is where it all started. I created and dominated here in the NXT as one of the horsewomen. Now, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Going back to where it all started in the NXT between her and Becky Lynch, talked about, I think that a Becky Lynch versus Bayley maybe match coming up for, they settled it in the steel cage match. Did not expect Lita to return and help out Big Time Bex against Bayley and Damage Control, but she did. But I think they still got unfinished business that possibly, maybe they could do Lita and Becky Lynch teaming up against Damage Control at WrestleMania. But who would be the third person to join their team is the question. Now this, I might be in over my head and might be just dreaming, but what if? Just a hunch. What if they brought back? They brought Lita to help Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw in the steel cage match against Damage Control. But what if not only did they bring back Lita to join Big Time Bex like they did on Raw, but Trish Stratus, who broke the history with Lita, who's been and the altercations between Damage Control, like with Bianca Belair. Have Lita, Trish Stratus, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control at WrestleMania 3 and 3 6-man tag team match, because Lita joined Becky Lynch to face Damage Control in the steel cage, so it's a possibility they could do that match at WrestleMania. Bayley seems like she has unfinished business on NXT, talking about it, bringing herself where it all started. That she feels some type of way personally outside of wrestling about Becky Lynch. So what better than them to settle that application at WrestleMania and Lita to join her, because she'll have Damage Control there, a 3-on-1 situation like she did in the steel cage. And what better than Trish Stratus, who's been having altercations, who said, I can show you better than I can tell you, and come out of retirement against Damage Control when they were disrespecting her when the EST stood up for her to join at WrestleMania, since she'll be busy versus Oxford for the Raw Women's Championship belt. That could be a dream match. That would steal the show. And then you had the whole Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley contract signing, talk about 2 gladiators and still in the show at WrestleMania as well. I'm going for the almighty Bobby Lashley to get his revenge once for all over Brock Lesnar, as far as that goes. But that's a good hunch. And then speaking of LA Knight and Supernatural and Bray Wyatt, I was talking about WrestleMania type of thing, even though it was happening at the Royal Rumble. You know, LA Knight had him working out with the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, showing how LA Knight does LA Knight things. Now this right here, now this is over the past now. So, let me pull it up here. This is my Monday Night Raw with Edge and Beth Phoenix finishing Damage Control that I was talking about. Edge, Beth Phoenix had unfinished business, and that's why Edge and Beth Phoenix had a mixed tag match with Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber. Seth freaking Rollins in the United States Champion opportunity. Let me see who I'm going for. Him on my side. Damage Control picked up that victory, but not over big time. Becky still came back and did not expect Rhea to return. That tag team, you know, I'm talking about. Rhea Ripley, SmackDown Champion with Charlotte, I'm talking about. Johnny Wrestling and Dexter. Not sure what they have plans for them, but that was just a tag team on Raw with the Miz TV, who Seth Rollins will be on the Miz TV tonight. And you can imagine Austin Theory is going to be looking forward to getting his revenge, and that Seth is going to be fighting Austin Theory on Miz TV tonight. Along with Austin winning the 6-man tag team match over Carmella's tag team match tonight. Who's all in the Women's Chamber for the Raw Champion Bianca Belair, who will be looking on, of course, as they go in the Women's Chamber to see who she thinks will win the Women's Chamber to face her at WrestleMania, who I think is going to be Asuka. Reed is going to crush his opponent Ali tonight, who we just seen on there. I'm not sure if the Bloodline will be there or not today. If they are, you can imagine maybe Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, maybe they could do a tag team match together tonight on Raw. Depends on who's all there of the Bloodline and where Jey Uso exactly stands as the Bloodline, with Sami Zayn and Roman facing each other for the Universal Championship at Elimination Chamber towards him versus the American Nightmare, who Sami said he'll have his back at WrestleMania. So that, are you going to be on Team Bloodline at WrestleMania, or are you going to help Cody Rhodes, American Nightmare, and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, let alone Elimination Chamber that comes before that, is the question. Those are my predictions for tonight on Monday Night Raw, and my prediction towards tonight on Monday Night Raw towards Elimination Chamber, with my predictions with hunches and theories towards WrestleMania. So I literally just told you my Monday Night Raw predictions for tonight and my predictions towards Elimination Chamber, my predictions towards WrestleMania, and my thoughts towards Elimination Chamber with my hunches towards WrestleMania. Those are type of things that I just showed you to back my hunches for Elimination Chamber and predictions to WrestleMania up, and why I think that for tonight make the presence of Monday Night Raw. Talk about the thin and future type of thing too. Now this, got a couple rap videos I want to show you, but we're gonna talk about this stuff first because this stuff had to be addressed first. Now this was, talk about my Raw prediction type of thing.
Be sure to hit that follow, that like, that share, that subscribe button both Instagram and YouTube. I'm gonna do my Monday Night Raw for tonight prediction right here, right now. I want Carmella, Miss Money, who's back, to either win the elimination or the Fatal 4-Way to Elimination Chamber.
And Carmella did win to go to the Elimination Chamber because Milla, with the return, winning to go in the Elimination Chamber is money. Along making sure Chelsea Green gets what she deserves against Asuka in the Lumberjack match. And Montez Ford made it to the Elimination Chamber, who I want to win for the United States Champion against Theory, or Seth Rollins to walk out United States Champion, who attacked Theory last week to make that present known. With the almighty Bobby Lashley, who deserves to get his revenge on Brock for what he did in the contract signing towards Elimination Chamber match. And Bayley, like I was talking about, returning on NXT where it all started. Was not expecting her to lose against Big Time Bex, but I was, but I didn't expect Lita to come against Damage Control. This is my result of that Monday Night Raw. And then you had Reed on after the bell, who's going to crush Ali tonight. I was talking about Liv Morgan, who on SmackDown, on that character, on her Elimination Chamber opportunity. The Usos coming through. Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions remaining. That Jay came through for the Bloodline and still is friends, as you saw backstage with Sami Zayn though too. With that Lumberjack match with some of the ones who are in the Elimination Chamber. Raquel, Liv Morgan, Asuka. And that the Miz has already been beaten by Boots. And the Miz TV will hold Seth Rollins on it tonight. You can imagine Theory be out there. The EST will be looking on to that Asuka and Carmella 6-man tag team match, which I think Team Asuka will win the 6-man tag team match tonight. Carmella won to be in the Elimination Chamber last week with her return. Asuka will win the 6-man tag team match this week, and the EST will be looking forward as they're going to be fighting for her Raw and Champion opportunity at WrestleMania and the Elimination Chamber. Now, what's next for Big Time Bex and Bayley as she's taking it personal towards elimination? You got Elimination Chamber coming up to settle it. I think that would be a good dream match to watch, that tag team with what better than Lita return to Steel Cage and Trish Stratus, who broke the history and the record. That anything can happen to me, especially that WrestleMania thing. So now I'm gonna show you a couple rapping videos. Let's take a little break. So that's really where we're at right now. I just started to mix it in there a little bit since talking about SmackDown results and Raw results and predictions and stuff. Anyways, let's go over this like I said. Well, I guess I could show Must Be Friday like SmackDown predictions of the results of SmackDown this past week. But I want to throw in these couple videos first that I want to show. Called Stay Above. That's gonna stay now. Stay down. Kill that stay down music. Great break. Here's the other one. Concrete crazy. So No, 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 happens. Rappers is that everybody wants to see stuff. That would be cool to celebrate the 30 years of Monday Night Raw and what I think of then best of Monday Night Raw classics. My recent 30 years of Monday Night Raw, Raw predictions, SmackDown, Royal Rumble. I thought outside the character journalism, about throwing the acting like the best minutes seen recently in tonight's Monday Night Raw after the Royal Rumble towards the Elimination Chamber WrestleMania, throwing a couple rapping videos so I don't get interrupted by people who don't want to answer the phone or the other rap video just to take up some time to people who want to buy when I'm trying to do something. There are some, type of things there. SmackDown, like I said, if it doesn't happen tonight, what's next for Jay? So as far as part of the bloodline and friends with Sami Zayn, and towards tag team, like I think Raquel and Liv Morgan maybe could do a tag team on SmackDown, and that would be my Friday Night SmackDown prediction. And some Super Showdown, like around the world in the universe towards Elimination Chamber, and now the road to then the finals is to WrestleMania. The possibility hunches until they're official, and why I would think that, and why I would feel that. So most of you guys already seen this one and stuff, top of the so I don't think I pretty much ruined anything, No. These are like the I was talking about. I was gonna show you my SmackDown all the characters. So I put like the must be Friday Night SmackDown. Must be Friday. Couldn't find you anywhere. You went away for such a long time, such a long time, yeah. Oh, why? You used to love me anyway. Used to call me all the time, yeah. Pretended like you wasn't my type, wasn't my type, no. Oh, but you know what to say, and you hid it away, like nobody ever before, yeah. Try to push it away, but you got me to stay. Boy, I've been tripping, and you've been it's all because you taste like there ain't nothing better. Taste like the rest of forever. You mine till the end of time. It's always been you. Yeah, I like how you don't seem to get it, even though you always can get it. You mine till the end of time. It's always been you. Yeah. Spider-Man? Remember that first December? Alien, you Spider-Man? It's funny after all of this time, never thought you'd be mine, huh? Oh, but you know what to say, and you hid it away, like nobody ever before. Yeah. Try to push it away, but I'll stay. But I've been tripping, and you've been. It's all because you taste like there ain't nothing better. Taste like the rest of forever. You mine till the end of time. It's always been you. I like how you don't seem to get it. Even though you always can get it. You mine till the end of time. It's always been you. Yeah, yeah. We don't even know where we're going. We don't even know what we're doing. As long as I'm with you, then baby, yeah. Cause you feel like there ain't nothing better. Things like the rest of forever. Till the end of time. It's always been you.
Remember when you disappeared, yeah? I couldn't find you anywhere, yeah? You went away for such a long time,
That's my Must Be Friday. So that's my Must Be Friday. With what's next for Jay So, a part of the Bloodline spot, but Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns asked the Usos not to be there. That it'll be between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn on SmackDown. But if the Usos aren't there, who's gonna stop Kevin Owens from attacking the Tribal Chief with Sami Zayn? That's what you can imagine Kevin Owens helping Sami Zayn, and possibly Jey Uso with Solo and Jimmy helping Roman in the Elimination Chamber. But then when he goes against American Nightmare, Sami Zayn already said he was going to be there. I think he said he's going to be there, or he's talking about Elimination Chamber. So that was my Must Be Friday predictions for Sami Zayn and Roman with the Universal Champion contract this SmackDown. That possibility Kevin Owens could be there, but he didn't say Solo can be there, only the Usos. And towards the WrestleMania with my Must Be Friday Night SmackDown predictions right now. I did it. And this is my Must Be Monday, like I was talking about just on here prediction towards the Elimination Chamber Royal Rumble. At WrestleMania, and for the men's one, Seth Rollins or Montez Ford for the United States Championship belt, Elimination Chamber opportunity. And the Bloodline, what's next for them? And will Jey Uso show up? And when he does, indeed, how will he be addressed by the Tribal Chief? Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champion asked not to be there next week, though, for Roman and Sami Zayn contract signing that Kevin Owens could join Sami Zayn, and then that would mean Solo for Roman this SmackDown prediction. And Charlotte, what's her response towards Rhea Ripley for SmackDown Women's Championship belt? That she's pretty confident in it. And so is Raquel and Liv winning Elimination Chamber. I think it's Asuka winning Elimination Chamber. So that's kind of like my Raw, Must Be Monday Night Raw prediction that I did, and Must Be Friday Night SmackDown prediction, and Elimination Chamber included towards also WrestleMania, what we already know, and some hunches I just did, what possibilities could happen to Monday Night Raw tonight. This is from the Friday Night SmackDown Elimination Chamber for this month, and WrestleMania in April. And we have one more pay-per-view as well after the same. And this is my results of the SmackDown, with Raquel and Liv winning the tag team, Lacey Evans making rookies into a domination. Usos won't be there, but Solo could be there for Roman Solos with the Sami Zayn contract signed for the U.S. Championship belt. And that Charlotte feels confident against Rhea Ripley. So what will Rhea Ripley's response be tonight towards Charlotte, of her thinking that she's just a pushover? And with the return of Ronda Rousey, still tag team domination with Shannon Blazer, it seems like she's pretty confident with that. And I think that's pretty much, all what needs to be addressed in talking about it. As far as that goes, make sure I didn't leave out anything and what I think about it all. That's pretty much all, just in general. Yeah, there's nothing really to really talk about or discuss. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered that and covered it well. Oh, those of you maybe who haven't seen it, I'll show you a couple of videos since we have time to spare. Just give me 1 second, 1 moment. Those of you who may not see it, but just cover videos that try to spare it up a little bit of what I said earlier before this video of my Raw prediction of what it was. The heck? Where did it go? Well, so this is what I thought before.
Be sure to hit that follow. Of course, that would bring the bloodline where they stand.
So I did two. I can show you the first one, and then I can show you the second one.
Be sure to hit that follow, that like, that shit.
So I did 3 takes on Friday night, on Monday Night Raw tonight's predictions. This is my number one. This is my take one. Must be Monday. EST night. Rollins champion. Seth freaking Rollins. Monday Night Raw. It must be Monday Night Rollins and Monday Night ESTs. So I've switched it up a little bit. I said must be Monday Night Rollins and Monday Night Raw brings the EST. On Rollins champion, Seth freaking Rollins to win on this champion, be the United States champion. Now this is my take one of Raw predictions for tonight.
Yo, it's Clean Crazy K. Be sure to hit that follow, that like, that share, that subscribe button on both Instagram and YouTube. Totally free and will support my channel. Thank you guys who already have been watching and liking and following, subscribing to my channel.
All day, every day, Monday Night Raw. It must be
more
Monday Night Raw. It's big time bets.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my Monday Night Raw
those kind of things.
predictions for tonight. So I
take
think that
one Raw prediction
as far as everything
tonight.
Seems like it's complete right now. So I think that now since we know who's going to eliminate champions and all that, I'm gonna go off and say that I think that our Raw Women's Champion, a Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, is gonna set the record straight that she looks forward to remaining the Raw Women's Champion against Carmella at the Elimination Chamber along with Austin Theory. You know, because Carmella, she's in the Elimination Chamber, but I think that she's going to win the Elimination Chamber or Asuka. So, you know how she set the record straight and all that. I think that the EST, a Raw Women's Champion, will be facing Asuka at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. I think she's going to win the Elimination Chamber. And as for the men's, I'm going for Seth Rollins or Montez to face for the United States Championship belt against Austin Theory. And as far as Roman, he's going to smash Sammy. But there's a possibility that maybe Jay and Cody will help Sammy in Elimination Chamber. And then Sammy and Jay might help against the Bloodline at WrestleMania. Now, I would say they should save something like that for WrestleMania. But we'll see what happens as far as that goes. So for tonight, EST Rollins champion, setting the record straight no matter who wins the Elimination Chamber.
She did last week on Monday Night Raw, which she did. Remind everybody that she's the EST all day, every day, and will continue to be Rollins champion no matter who wins the Elimination Chamber at WrestleMania. Like I said, Seth Rollins sending the message to Theory that he will be winning the Elimination Chamber for the United States Champion opportunity to capture it. And then Asuka would be a good match between her and Bianca at WrestleMania since Rhea has unfinished business with Charlotte. And the Bloodline, he asked the Usos not to be there on SmackDown, so that leaves Roman and Sammy for the Universal Champion contract signing, which means Solo could be there because you know Kevin Owens is probably going to help Sammy. A possibility of it.
And as far as that goes,
for what happened at the Royal Rumble.
I think that's pretty much.
Which would bring Liv and Raquel, that they did a tag team last week, that they could do a tag team between Shayna and Ronda Rousey today. Actually, Shanti and Natalia attacked him against them. So that was my take one. That'd be cool if her and Leah teamed up for tonight for what happened last week on Monday Night Raw. Tonight's take one on Monday Night Raw prediction. The Hunters at WrestleMania with Lita and Big Time Bex teaming up like they did on Monday Night Raw. Just a hunch, and anything can happen at WrestleMania. And my prediction towards Elimination Chamber is why I did this take two earlier today on the Raw and SmackDown backstage WWE exclusive Raw predictions of my own. And why I thought that, and why that Reed will crush Ali in a singles action tonight. And also winning the six-man tag team match over Carmella's tag team match. No, Almighty Bobby Lashley deserves a spear this week to Brock Lesnar, like he did at 5 last week to Bobby Lashley. And that theory, you can imagine him in the Miz TV wanting revenge on Seth Rollins for last week, embarrassing him. As he is in the Elimination Chamber opportunity, and they've been kind of altercation for the United States Championship belt since there's been the United States Champion and versus Seth Rollins. And lost, Money in Bank contract opportunity against that, but then captured the United States Champion belt. So those are the type of things I was talking about. What happened off of last Monday Night Raw and why that brought me to tonight's Monday Night Raw prediction. And since we're talking about the Elimination Chamber, I did my Elimination Chamber predictions that we already know as far as the matches to make those predictions and that possibility that what could come based off of tonight's Monday Night Raw towards Elimination Chamber predictions with Hunters at WrestleMania, that anything and everything can happen, as you saw last week on Raw, and why I would think that of those certain people that I said what they can do and why. Like I said, some like, okay, well, Lita returned to help Big Time Bex against Damage Control last week in the Steel Cage match for Monday Night Raw. So who says Lita can't help Big Time Bex beat Damage Control in a tag team match at WrestleMania? And that Bayley on NXT said she's personally taking it to Becky Lynch. She's not finished for her. That match between them two could still happen. And because Lita helped Big Time Bex last week in the Steel Cage match, who says she wouldn't help her in the WrestleMania match in a tag team match. And that the EST made her statement very clear last week when Carmella won that elimination, like I said. So what better than Oxen won a tag team match tonight? That will happen. And Reed totally crushed and will go through Ali tonight when the challenge was made backstage. And that towards the elimination, that Sami Zayn and Roman could get it ugly because Kevin Owens could help him this Friday Night SmackDown, that the Usos won't be there. And that Jay, based on his friendship with Sami, could possibly help in that Elimination Chamber in American Nightmare Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, that maybe it could flip the script a little bit, that maybe it will be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn helping the American Nightmare at WrestleMania, and then which would allow Solo and Jimmy to help Roman at WrestleMania, which means, will Jay help the Bloodline dominate at Elimination Chamber? Now it's like Jay came through for his brother to remain Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions on SmackDown. Roman asked the Usos not to be there with him and Sammy's contract this Friday, which could lead to Kevin Owens jumping in, but he didn't say anything about Solo. And Paul Heyman kind of stirring it up with the American Nightmare towards WrestleMania. So that could mean that because of the proofs and the facts that because Jay helped his brother remain the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champion last Friday, he could help his brother at Elimination Chamber make sure Roman remains the Universal Champion and smash Sammy's ass, because Kevin Owens is going to be trying to get involved and Solo ain't going to allow it. And, Jay will kind of step back as Sammy's friend, but, family comes before friends. And then that could mean Sammy and Owens have American Nightmares back for what happened at the Royal Rumble. And then that would mean Jimmy and Solo have Roman's back because they're not going to let that happen. And that would mean, will Jay choose the bloodline, his family, or will he choose Sammy, his friends, for the Universal Championship belt at WrestleMania? Now, I think with this whole altercations going on, with this whole thing, that Roman Reigns is going to smash for the Universal Champion over Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber like he did Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. Which means Kevin Owens will help Sami because he wants revenge will happen at the Royal Rumble. But Solo ain't going to allow that. And that maybe the American Nightmare will get involved there because Paul Heyman kind of got in his head a little bit talking about his family, which will bring Solo out. So Jay doesn't have to pick a side at Elimination Chamber, so the questions will still be thrown around. Is he going to choose family or friends at the greatest stage in them all? And certain people will have their opinion and why, and it can make perfect sense. And certain people like me can be still questioning, like, family or friends? Which one will you choose? Now, I would say family because he helped him remain when the titles were on the line with his brother on SmackDown. Which would mean Solo will have Roman's back as well as Jimmy at WrestleMania. And that Sammy, because he's going to lose that Elimination Chamber, will want his revenge at WrestleMania, along with the American Nightmare, who's the American Nightmare Men's Royal Rumble winner, challenged him towards it, which means Kevin Owens, because of what he at Royal Rumble is going to want his revenge at SmackDown, that Rumble will have to handle him at WrestleMania too as his friend. Now that's even. Now this is where Jay makes the decisions, proves all the haters, the doubters, and the questions wrong in general. This is where he says, you know what? This is where Jey Uso chooses either Sammy as his homie, as his friend, or the bloodline. That family always comes first, especially when the Universal Championship and the Tribal Chief Championship belt is on the line. This is where it really plays it out. So you can imagine Roman this Friday is going to be having altercations with Sammy. And that Solo and Owens is going to get involved because Owens is still bad about Royal Rumble, and Solo ain't going to let that happen since the Usos won't be there. And then you can imagine with Roman and Sammy at Elimination Chamber that Owens is going to return the favor as his friend because he helped him as a friend at the Royal Rumble at SmackDown. Kind of knocked him off a little bit. That Solo ain't going to let that happen, and neither will Jimmy. And then maybe the American Nightmare could be like, well, since he's my opponent at WrestleMania, now is the time to make my statement since Paul Heyman got in his family, got in his head, and then Jay won't have to make the altercation, won't have to make the decision right there and then. And then when it happens at WrestleMania, American Nightmare and Roman Reigns, Sammy's going to want his revenge from Elimination Chamber. Owens going to keep one of his revenge from the Royal Rumble, the SmackDown Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania, and that Solo and Jimmy ain't going to let you hurt, try to cheat or take the easy way out against their family member, and they're not going to let you touch their family member and get away with it. Paul Heyman's going to be screaming like a head off. What's going on? What's happening? So close to the American Nightmare. Gonna the crime. Gonna the crown. Our Universal Champion Roman Reigns at the greatest stage of WrestleMania, but then everybody's going to be on their feet and get shut down. When Jey Uso makes the odds over the evens, helps out family, the bloodline. Jey Uso coming through for the Universal Champion, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. And that is Queen Krazy K's predictions towards tonight on Monday Night Raw, this Friday Night SmackDown, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. And then my hundreds and thoughts and predictions are going to be right on point. And then when it happens, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. And that is Queen Quiz Kids predictions and why. One more thing for we end this. Now that was, the part 1 and 2 and 3 I was telling you about of my raw predictions. This is why you should listen to me. Why my predictions? I'll be telling you, I told you so. These Eagles are Chiefs, right? My rates. Thank you guys for following, subscribing on Instagram and YouTube, and watching, liking, sharing, following, and subscribing on Instagram and YouTube. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Those of you who have, and those of you who are going to tell your family and friends to do so, and who are doing it right now as I speak. I just want to give that special shout out there. So I really thank and appreciate those of you who done that. And I'm doing it now. I just wanted to put that out there real fast. This my little Chiefs predictions. Why you guys should listen to me. Patrick Mahomes pulling through the injury, making it to the Super Bowl, supporting all of the family friends, making history before it even started. And then at the end of the day, why you should listen to me. Why the Chiefs picked up the victory of this year's Super Bowl. They're kings and bosses, and never doubt Mahomes at all times. Kansas City Chiefs all day. Told you so and told you so. Yeah, Babyface there and Rihanna there supporting Chiefs all day, my shirt. Why you shouldn't doubt me. The heck is this? Smooth, just like that. Never doubt me. Or the Chiefs. Ancient history coins. Because history was made. And the power and the energy and strength was a good game. And that is just smoothing right there. To relax and enjoy. My point exactly. So, with that being said, follow, subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube free and would support my channel. Really appreciate those of you who've been watching and subscribing and follow me on Instagram, that video share that I really appreciate and thank you guys. Special shout out to y'all for that. And those are some videos with the Raw and SmackDown, I think we pretty much covered it all, 30 years, then, now, forever, together, type of thing, Talk about the past, the present, the future, the then, the now, together, the history, and forever. All day, every day. Right, left, and right, and up and down, and right through the middle. Swirling around in the universe. Into a world, into a ball. Brings out exactly what I'm saying. 30 years of Monday Night Raw. Celebrating 30 years of Monday Night Raw. The history that's been made that I talked about, my personal favorites, and the now 30 years. The Raw, the SmackDown prediction after the 30 years. The Royal Rumble in resolving, and my predictions was right. Right on the money. Where's my money? Where's my $100? Where's my 1,000 to the Super Bowl prediction that I showed you and was right on the money? With the yardage and the passing on top of it. Neck and neck. With the history of greatness. And why that scream deserves the added care as a journalist and what's going on. With the wrap up towards tonight's Monday Night Raw. This Friday SmackDown. this year's Elimination Chamber, or where we're going into Elimination Chamber before the big stage of WrestleMania, and why my hunches and guess and predictions are the way that they are, and why they make sense. And that is greatness. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. Be sure to follow, subscribe on both Instagram and YouTube. Green Crazy K is out, and I will see you guys next time.